Welcome to the deep dive. You know that feeling, right? That persistent knot in your stomach, maybe. Or just like a tightness in your shoulders you can't explain.
Yeah, even when your mind is saying, nope, everything's fine here.
Exactly. It's like our bodies are speaking this whole other language when we often ignore in our super busy, head-focused lives.
That's right. And, hidden in those little physical feelings, those sensations, there's this really deep connection. Mind, body, spirit, it's all linked.
And that link holds the key to some pretty incredible healing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're digging into today, somatic healing. It's not just about, feeling a bit better. It's about getting this basic truth.
Yeah.
Your body isn't just carrying you around. It's like this deep well of wisdom.
Yeah, a reservoir. And for this deep dive, we've been looking at the Somatic Therapy Handbook by Y.D. Gardens. It's a fantastic resource, really practical.
It really is. And what makes it hit home, I think, is the author's own story.
Right. Y.D. Gardens talks about starting from a really tough place, dealing with anxiety, with trauma, and finding that real shift, that transformation, happened when she started actually listening to her body, choosing compassion instead of just fear.
So that's our mission today, to kind of bridge that gap between our busy minds and our bodies that are trying to talk to us. We'll unpack the basics of somatic therapy, look at the science behind it, how it actually works in the brain and body.
And importantly, we'll get into some practical tools, techniques you can actually use to tap into that body wisdom for your own healing, your own well-being.
Yeah, hopefully by the end, you'll have a clearer picture of how this approach can help you understand those, those lingering feelings or physical things that don't quite make sense.
So, okay, what is somatics, really?
Right.
At its core, it's all about paying attention to your internal physical experience,
Yeah.
your perceptions,
It's not just a method then.
not just set of techniques, no.
Yeah.
It's more like starting a conversation, a really deep one, between your body and, well, your soul, you could say.
A dialogue. I like that. Because for ages, we've sort of been taught to chop ourselves up, haven't we? Mind here, body there, spirit somewhere else.
Right. But holistic healing, which is what somatic therapy is all about, says, no, wait, they're completely interconnected. You can't separate them.
It feels kind of revolutionary, but it's also ancient wisdom, isn't it?
Totally. Many traditions have always known this. You have to nurture the whole person to heal any single part.
And this connects to the idea that the body knows things. It has its own wisdom.
Absolutely. It's talking all the time. Through those sensations we mentioned, through little impulses to move, even restlessness, it's communicating what it needs, maybe setting boundaries, or even holding on to old emotions that haven't been dealt with.
So that knot in the stomach again, or maybe like clenched jaws, that's not just random noise.
No, it's a signal.
Mm-hmm.
Could be stress, could be fear, maybe something else entirely. Somatic therapy asks us to get curious about it. Like, okay, body, what are you trying to tell me here? Instead of just trying to make it go away.
And that's the path to self-awareness, learning to decode those signals.
That's a huge part of it. Understanding the emotional story behind the physical feeling. It helps you process things.
Okay, this makes sense intuitively, but how does it actually work? Like scientifically?
Yeah, the neurobiology is pretty fascinating, especially when we talk about trauma. Traumatic events can literally change how the brain is wired.
How so?
Think of the brain's fear circuit. Trauma can kind of throw it out of whack. The amygdala, that's your threat detector.
Right, the alarm system.
Exactly. Can become overactive, hyper alert, always scanning for danger, even when there isn't any.
Okay.
Then you have the hippocampus, which is key for memory, for putting experiences in context. Trauma can sometimes cause it to shrink, making it harder to tell the difference between a past threat and present safety.
Wow.
And the prefrontal cortex are reasoning, planning part of the brain, its activity might decrease.
So those three things together.
Yeah, it can leave someone feeling constantly stuck, like their body is physically stuck in fight or flight or maybe freeze mode.
And that shows up physically.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Chronic muscle tension, maybe a racing heart, digestive issues, even problems with the immune system. It's the body holding that stress long term.
So it's absolutely not just in your head.
Not at all. It's deeply physical.
Yeah.
Which brings us to this idea of somatization.
Somatization, that's when emotional pain shows up as physical symptoms.
Precisely. If emotional distress isn't processed, doesn't have an outlet, the body sometimes takes over. Think about getting stress headaches or stomach aches when you're really worried about something.
This happens all the time.
Those aren't just random aches. They're often the body speaking that unresolved emotional stuff.
Okay. And related to this is body memory,
Oh,
right?
yes. This is fundamental.
Yeah.
Our bodies literally hold on to past experiences, especially the intense or traumatic ones. Even if your conscious mind doesn't remember all the details, the body remembers.
How does that show up?
It might be a sudden physical reaction that seemed to come out of nowhere, a tremor, maybe feeling suddenly constricted, heart pounding, often triggered by something subtle in the environment that reminds the body of the past event.
Like the body's own alarm system going off based on old data.
Kind of, yeah. And a huge step in healing is recognizing those reactions for what they are, echoes of the past, not necessarily an immediate danger now.
That makes so much sense. It's like the body's keeping an archive. Okay, so if our bodies are storing all of this, how do we start to, work with it,
Yeah.
release it?
Great question. And the good news is there are really effective ways. The handbook highlights several key approaches.
Like what?
Well, mindful movement is a big one. Things like yoga or Tai Chi aren't just exercise. They create space for the body to speak and release tension physically.
Okay.
Then there's breath work. Using specific controlled breathing patterns can directly calm your nervous system down. Signal safety.
We'll definitely get into that more.
And body scanning. Just the simple act of mentally checking in, noticing sensations without judgment, helps you map where tension is held.
Let's start with figuring out the signals. How do you even begin to interpret what your body's saying?
The handbook suggests a few steps. First, try to connect the physical sensation to an emotion. Like that tight chest, is it anxiety? Could it be anger you haven't expressed? Sadness?
Mm.
Just gently ask the question.
Okay, connect sensation to emotion. What else?
Then think about context. Does this feeling seem familiar? When have you felt it before? Does it connect to a specific time in your life or a pattern? This kind of reflection can be really powerful, especially for inner child work.
Right, linking it to past
And
experiences.
a really practical tool here is somatic journaling, just regularly jotting down what you notice physically and what emotions or thoughts come up alongside it. Over time, you start seeing patterns. It helps make the invisible visible.
Like mapping your inner landscape.
Exactly. There's a great example in the handbook, Anna, who had chronic headaches for years.
Yeah.
Through doing these daily body check-ins and journaling, she realized her headaches almost always followed moments where she felt angry or frustrated, but didn't say anything.
Suppressed emotion.
Right. Learning to express herself more healthily actually reduced her headaches significantly. It wasn't about finding the right pill. It was about her body finally getting its message across.
Wow, that's powerful. So our bodies signal distress, but they also hold the key to calming that distress. Let's talk about breath work. You mentioned it's a direct line to the nervous system.
Yeah, the science is really neat. Breathing isn't just about oxygen. How you breathe sends constant messages to your brain and nervous system.
Okay.
So slow, deep, controlled breathing tells your system, hey, it's safe now, you can relax. It shifts you out of that stressed out, sympathetic fight or flight state.
And into the calmer, parasympathetic rest and digest state.
Exactly. Your heart rate slows, blood pressure drops, stress hormones like cortisol decrease. It's a physiological shift.
It's like hitting a reset button.
Oh.
And the benefits go beyond just calming down in the moment.
Oh, absolutely. Regular breath work is amazing for emotional regulation, managing anxiety, anger, sadness. It's great for physical health too, better breathing, circulation, even immune function.
And mentally.
Clearer thinking, better focus,
Yeah.
less mental chatter. It brings you right into the present moment.
Okay, I'm sold. What are some simple techniques people can try? The handbook must have examples.
It does. There's equal breathing, super simple. Just inhale for a count of, say, 4 and exhale for 4. Great for balance.
Easy enough.
Then box breathing. You inhale for 4, hold your breath for 4, exhale for 4, hold again for 4. Visualizing a square can help, often used by people like Navy SEALs, actually.
Wow, okay.
And for anxiety, the 4-7-8 breath is fantastic. Breathe in quietly through your nose for 4 counts, hold the breath for 7 counts, and then exhale completely through your mouth, making a whoosh sound for 8 counts.
Inhale 4, hold 7, exhale 8.
Right. Doing just a few rounds can be incredibly calming, almost instantly.
Definitely worth trying. Okay, so from breath, let's move to, well, movement. Movement as medicine.
Yes. And again, this isn't just about getting fit. It's about recognizing that our muscles literally hold memories.
Muscle memory, but for emotions.
Kind of, yeah. Think about how you tense up when you're stressed or scared. If that stress is chronic or it comes from trauma, that tension can become locked in long after the event is over. Your muscles become like little archives of unprocessed feelings.
So my tight shoulders might actually be related to feeling burdened for years.
It's very possible they hold those patterns. So releasing that tension isn't just about massage, though. That can help, especially things like deep tissue work, which can even shift brainwaves.
Right.
But mindful movement practices are key. Yoga, dance, Tai Chi.
Yeah.
They give the body a language to express and release what's stored. Plus, the physical activity itself boosts endorphins, reduces cortisol.
Hmm.
It changes your brain chemistry for the better.
The handbook mentions specific types, like yoga isn't just stretching.
Right? It's connecting breath and movement, which helps you notice and release those emotional holding patterns. And Tai Chi, with those slow flowing movements, it's amazing for reducing anxiety, finding balance, finding fluidity where you felt stuck.
It seems like safety is a really big theme here, too.
Crucial. You need to feel safe, both physically and emotionally, to allow these stored feelings to surface and release. It's about creating a supportive space, whether that's in a class or just with yourself, where you can be vulnerable without judgment.
Okay, so we've covered listening, breathing, moving. What about when things feel really intense, like you're overwhelmed or maybe even feel a bit disconnected?
That's where grounding techniques are absolute gold. They are your anchor in an emotional storm.
Anchor. I like that. How do they work?
They pull you out of the swirling thoughts or overwhelming feelings and plant you firmly back in the present moment, back into your body. They dissipate that feeling of being swept away.
And you use your senses for this.
Exactly. Your five senses are your direct line to the now. Noticing things you can see around you, feeling the texture of your clothes or the chair you're sitting on, listening to sounds near and far, smelling something distinct, tasting something like a mint or a sip of water.
It sounds simple.
It is simple, but profoundly effective. It breaks the loop of anxiety or dissociation. The handbook really encourages finding what works best for you. Maybe it's holding a smooth stone, maybe it's splashing cold water on your face, maybe it's naming 5 blue things you see.
Personalizing it.
Yes. And then making a plan. Know what your go-to grounding techniques are and practice them. Don't wait for a crisis. Weave them into your day.
The handbook had that cool idea for grounding cards too, didn't it?
Yeah, I love that. Like a little DIY toolkit. Just write or draw your favorite grounding techniques on small cards. Keep them handy. You can pull one randomly each day or grab one when you feel yourself getting overwhelmed. Makes it tangible.
That's a great practical tip. Now, how does all this somatic work fit with other kinds of healing, like, say, psychotherapy?
Oh, it integrates beautifully. Think of it like building a really strong support network for your well-being. Combining somatic therapy with talk therapy or maybe art therapy or mindfulness practice, it creates a much more complete, holistic approach. You're working on different levels simultaneously.
And mindfulness seems like a natural partner.
Totally. Being aware of the present moment, which is the heart of mindfulness, is exactly what you need to do somatic work effectively. It helps you tune into those body sensations without getting carried away by them. Starting a somatic practice with a short meditation or doing mindful walking, it deepens the whole thing.
What about shadow work? That sounds intense. How does somatics connect there?
It connects really powerfully. Our shadow is basically the parts of ourselves we don't acknowledge, maybe parts we're ashamed of or learn to hide. Often the body holds the tension related to keeping those parts suppressed.
So physical pain could be linked to unacknowledged aspects of ourselves?
It absolutely can. Chronic shoulder pain might relate to carrying burdens you haven't acknowledged, or jaw tension might relate to unspoken anger. Doing shadow work, consciously exploring these hidden parts, can lead to surprising physical relief as that stored energy gets released.
How do you even start that?
The handbook suggests starting gently. Notice what physical sensations come up when you even think about a part of yourself you struggle with. Journaling helps connect the physical feeling to the emotion or belief. Guided imagery can also be useful, maybe visualizing a conversation with that shadow aspect, or doing inner child work to understand its roots. Consistency is key.
Right. Okay, let's talk specifics. Anxiety is so common. How does the somatic approach help there?
It shifts the whole relationship with anxiety. Instead of seeing it as this enemy you have to fight off.
Which is exhausting.
Totally. Instead, you see it as a signal. Your body is trying to tell you something. Maybe you feel unsafe, maybe a boundary was crossed, maybe there's unresolved fear.
So you listen to it instead of battling it.
Exactly. And use the tools. That 4-7-8 breath. Amazing for calming the physical symptoms right down. Grounding techniques like that 5-4-3-2-1 exo score, where you name things you see, feel, hear, smell, taste, pull you out of the anxious spiral and back to the present.
And movement.
Mindful movement, even just walking and paying attention to your feet on the ground, helps redirect that anxious energy. It's about creating a safe internal space to be with the anxiety, understand its message, and respond effectively, rather than just being hijacked by it.
That's a huge shift. Okay, so as people start using these tools, building a routine seems important.
Absolutely crucial. A routine provides structure, makes it consistent. In our busy lives, self-care often gets pushed aside. A routine makes sure it happens.
But it doesn't have to be rigid, right?
Not at all. The handbook talks about using principles like the somatic self-care checklist, basically.
Hmm.
Pick practices you actually enjoy and connect with. Figure out the best times for you: morning, midday break, evening. Plan for consistency, but build in flexibility. Maybe longer sessions on weekends, shorter check-ins during the week.
And integrate it, make it part of your life.
Right, maybe a morning stretch and breath routine, a mindful moment at lunch, an evening body scan.
You mentioned journaling as a way to track progress, too, like being a personal archaeologist.
Yeah, I love that description. Journaling helps you dig into your experiences, record sensations, emotions, insights, doing daily check-ins, maybe mapping where you feel tension or ease in your body.
Mm.
It helps you spot patterns. What triggers tension? What helps you feel calm? Asking reflective questions in your journal deepens the learning.
Life changes, though. How do you adapt your routine when things get crazy or your needs shift?
Good point. First, know your core practices, the absolute essentials. Then, simplify when life gets hectic. Maybe a 20-minute practice becomes a 5-minute check-in. Cultivate portable practices you can do anywhere: breath work, a quick grounding exercise.
And adjust for physical limits or emotional state.
Definitely. Modify movements if you need to. Choose calming practices if you feel overwhelmed, maybe more energizing ones if you feel low. The key is to regularly check in. Is this routine still serving me? What needs tweaking? Experiment.
How do you stay consistent, though? Life gets in the way.
Break it down. Small steps are easier than giant leaps. Weave it into what you already do. Stretch while the kettle boils. Breathe deeply while waiting in line. Find an accountability buddy, and this is important. Celebrate your progress.
How?
Notice the small shifts. Keep a gratitude list related to your practice. Maybe a victory jar where you write down small wins. Write a letter to your future self about your journey. Acknowledging how far you've come keeps you motivated.
That's great advice. Okay, there's one more big piece we need to talk about. Community.
Ah, yes. So important. We are fundamentally wired for connection. Healing doesn't happen in a vacuum.
Why is community so crucial for this kind of work?
Well, the deep dive into community in the source material really highlights that healing is often a co-creation. When you share these vulnerable experiences, you create this kind of collective nervous system.
Wow, collective nervous system.
Yeah, where you can help regulate each other. Shared vulnerability, mutual support, it can unlock levels of healing that are really hard to reach alone.
So sharing experiences helps.
Massively. Just knowing you're not alone and feeling a certain way is incredibly validating. And there's something powerful about a shared rhythm, like breathing together in a group. It creates synchronicity, belonging. Plus, you get collective wisdom, practical tips, different perspectives. People might share how they use, say, polyvagal theory in daily life, understanding how things like humming or cold water can shift their nervous system state. You learn from each other.
And it combats that isolation that can come with deep inner work.
Exactly. Support groups offer that safe container to share, be seen, and be encouraged. It's a living resource.
What kinds of communities are out there?
Lots of options. Online forums and groups are great for accessibility, connecting you with people globally. You need to find the right fit. Though, check the vibe. Privacy settings. Active participation is key. Online joining discussions, virtual meetups,
And local groups.
they offer the benefit of face-to-face interaction, which can be really powerful. Guidance from a facilitator is often more direct. You can find these through community centers, wellness directories, sometimes social media. Again, active participation makes all the difference.
What if you can't find one?
You could even start your own. Define the purpose, find like-minded people, create a safe space, plan activities, maybe shared practices, discussions, guest speakers. It takes effort to sustain, but building your own circle can be incredibly rewarding.
It really sounds like sharing the journey makes it richer.
It absolutely does. That shared experience and wisdom just illuminates the path in a way that solitary work sometimes can't.
Wow. This has been such a rich exploration. We've really seen how somatic healing is this deep, whole-person approach, connecting you back to your body's wisdom.
Giving you tools to understand and work through trauma, manage emotions day to day, and just cultivate a better sense of overall well-being.
And the key takeaway really is that the tools are already within you.
Exactly. You have this capacity, this deep dive, hopefully just offered a map, maybe a compass, and pointed out some potential fellow travelers on the path.
So as we wrap up, here's something to think about. How might your life actually change if you started consistently letting your body's whispers, those subtle signals, guide your daily choices, trusting that wisdom just as much as you trust your logical mind?